Yeah, I put a little shirt for the show today.
Look at you, you're fancy. Oh,
Yeah,
I was
yeah, because
like,
my
oh
mom listens to
no.
the show, so I want her to be proud of her son. Hi everyone. Hady is just preparing, putting the video stream on all platforms, and once this is done, we'll be able to start. So, for everyone joining in, thank you so much for being here, and it won't be too long. We'll get into the intro, and we'll go right away.
Yes.
Just tell me when
No.
you're good, Hedy.
Yeah. It's not gonna be too long. I'm just sharing on all the
uh,
platforms, and it should be done in a few seconds. So thank
Cool.
you for bearing with us, guys.
mhm.
I hope that we're going to be a lot. Feel free to retweet or share or advise and talk about us with your friends, um, so we can have the biggest impact possible.
Oh, okay, okay.
Mhm.
Well, no excuses
That was
tonight. The
like
Canadians
moderately
played
awkward.
this afternoon, so no hockey, no football, nothing tonight. So the ball is round tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Although
nothing else to
yeah,
do.
no comment. There's always something else to do.
There
Yeah,
isn't,
you're
Eve, okay?
right.
Always. And I thankfully I brought it to the party.
Yeah, what you drinking today?
Today I've changed it up. As you know, I'm usually a stout and porter girl. But I am actually drinking, and I not gonna lie, I only bought it because of the can. It was really cute. It's a
Oh, yeah, nice.
clementine sour.
Okay,
And
looks good.
look, it's got like a ballerina on the can. It's
Yeah,
really
well,
cute.
looks good. Looks good.
Yes. It's the little thing sometimes.
Yeah, we'll have a segment soon. What is Eve drinking?
That would be my dream segment, yeah.
So guys,
Although,
I it's shared on all
uh,
platforms. So I think we can start the countdown. So let's
let's
do
Cool.
this.
get her going.
Hello, my friends. My name is Samuel Savy, and this week on the show, we finally get to preview the long awaited rematch against our CONCACAF nemesis, Santos Laguna. We check in on Bev Priestman's list for the Arnold Clark Cup, and we talk pots and seedings for the men national team. This and a lot more on episode 68 of The Ball is Round. And I'm joined by my good friends, Yves Paul and Hadi Raphael. How is everyone?
It's
Yeah, we're
Saturday,
fine,
so we're
man.
fantastic. Saturday night.
Yeah,
I'm always
special show on
fantastic.
Saturday.
I'm always fantastic. Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever, name it.
Okay.
I don't
There you
care.
go. There you go. Eve, you're on the same vibe?
I am always a happier camper with a cold beer in my hand.
There you
So we
go.
good.
So let's jump right into it. We said we would finally get to preview Santos Laguna. Here we are. So, guys, we're getting closer to the showdown with our old foe. And to start off this segment, my question is, with that in mind, does the proximity of the game trigger any stronger emotions, or are we in control right now?
So personally, I was not around for Santos Laguna V 1.0. So for me, I'm like, oh yeah, it's cool. I feel kind of like a jerk. I'm like opposing when I feel emotions about the Santos Laguna game.
Eddie,
Yeah, no, I was around. Unfortunately, I was
unfortunately.
around.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, I wasn't a big fan yet or follower. I wasn't a journalist then. But I watched the game. It was really really hard. So for me, yes, there are some emotions for sure. There are some emotions. I'm just so afraid that we get, we get a big defeat, a 4-0 defeat that away from home, and then we go back to the Olympic Stadium and we're not able to do anything.
Yeah, it's not
I'm
really a
afraid of
game.
that. Yeah, exactly. I'm afraid of that. So yes, there are emotions. Um, I don't think the players feel those emotions yet because they're still in a preseason mode, in my opinion. I just hope that they're pumped up and that the coaching staff did what they need to in order to pump them up and to show them that it's very important in Montreal to be motivated for the Champions League.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the team is flying to Mexico tomorrow. They're training on Monday for eventually that game against Santos Laguna, who are currently 17th out of 18th, if I'm not mistaken, in the Clausura segment of the season in Mexico.
That's like
They
really surprising for them, no? Sorry to cut you off,
Oh
Sam.
yes,
But usually
yeah.
Santos Laguna performs much better in
Well,
Liga
if you look at
MX.
the Apertura
Yeah.
segment of the league, they finished fifth, if I'm not mistaken, and they
Mm-hmm.
went all the way to the playoff finals,
Mm-hmm.
losing to Tigres,
Yeah.
if my memory is good. But now it's shambles right now for them. They have the worst goal differential of the whole league at -6. It's only after 4 games, but still they have a record of 0 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw in this
Yowza.
part of their because the Mexican League is
Yeah,
three
it's split
segments here,
into,
right?
yeah.
Apertura, then Clausura. So they just
Mm-hmm.
started the Clausura. Since January the 12th, they drew 1-1 versus Tigres, lost 3-1 versus Toluca, lost
Yeah.
4-1 versus Necaxa, and lost 2-1 versus Atlas. They are playing tonight at 10 p.m. at home against another team that we know all too well, who are struggling hard too at the moment,
Oh no.
Club America. Yes. So anyone who wants to find a stream or to watch the game, Club America versus Santos Laguna tonight at 10 p.m. So, guys, I mean, if you are, let's put ourselves in Santos Laguna's feet for now. The season has started wrong for them. Will they use the Champions League as a way to turn their season around?
Of course, it's an extra motivation. They're going to have an
Yeah.
extra motivation against Montreal. First of all, we all know the history between MLS teams and Mexican teams. We all know that Liga MX teams have had, have been victorious most of the times against the MLS teams. So they have that sentiment that they are better. And they have to prove that because when they lose against an MLS team, when a Mexican team lose against an MLS team, it's very humiliating. So they have to prove to their fans that they are better, like the league is better, the Liga MX is better than MLS. That's what they need to prove. So yes, of course, they're going to be very motivated. They're going to be very, very strong. And it's another competition. So whatever is happening in Liga MX is something completely different. For them, they're starting a competition, a new competition. It's the time right now to show what they're worth.
No, completely agree with Hady. Obviously, it has not been a closer to remember so far. For Santos Laguna, it's early, but nonetheless, not. But yeah, there is definitely a point of pride for Liga MX teams over MLS teams because they have, at least in the finals, they've always had the better of the MLS teams. So yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yves, if you're in Montreal's coaching staff, if you're Wilfred Nancy, when you look at the current form of Santos Laguna, and obviously you have tape available because they're playing televised games right now, so you can analyze, their system, which player is hot, which player is cold, their tendencies. Do you take what you see right now from the Mexican team with a pinch of salt, or is this something really significant that you have to really put your eyes onto and work onto?
I would definitely take their current form with a pinch of salt because cup football is an entirely different beast from regular league play. So first and foremost, they're going to be facing a different team, different mindset. So my opinion is no, I would not be like looking too hard at their current form and saying, oh, this should be an easy foe because they're second last in Cosera right now. I would be saying, oh, snap, they've got a chip on their shoulder. And you never know what can happen in CCL. The craziest stuff has happened in the history of CCL, including, and a few of those included Montreal. So,
Fortunately.
yes, exactly. So no, I definitely would not be resting on my laurels, knowing that Santos Laguna is struggling right now.
I'll send a question to you, Hady. Do you have a different answer than Eve, or you're on the same page?
No, I'm on the same page.
Oh my
I
God.
am. It's very rare, but I
Good,
am on the
good.
same page.
We're doing something.
No, I am on the same page. It's just, again, I think the preparations, the mental preparations from the coaching staff is going to be really, really important. Everything is going to be played mentally, because physically we know that the team is not ready. They're still in a preseason mode. They're not able to play a full 90 minutes at 100%. Not even one team in the world, their first game of their season, is able to play at 100% of their capabilities. That's normal. This is soccer. This is football. This is what it is. Okay? So on the mental side, if they're able to play a great 70 minutes and then just hold their ground and be as strong mentally and play as a unit, not especially defensively, maybe offensively too, but play as a unit, then they can be good. But the preparation has to be mental. A lot of work to be done from the coaching staff, for sure.
Well, just seeing that how very few details have come out of our preseason so far, you have to think that there's a bit of mental game in there. Wilfried Nancy keeping his cards very, very close to his chest, and as frustrating as it is for a fan, because we want to know who scored, we want to know who played, but don't forget the Santos Laguna's coaching squad wants to know who scored, wants to know who played, who got the most minutes and goals. So, I mean, for sure, there's a big part of mental preparation. And I think Montreal, even though frustratingly, we didn't know much about preseason, we can barely talk about it, I think did a good job of keeping their, like I said, Wilfried Nancy keeping his cards very close to his chest, and keep the Mexican team guessing. So and well, there is another place where we are guessing. It's the players' unavailabilities right now. We learned that Alistair Johnston is uncertain because he's in COVID protocol. Piet, the same thing, and he didn't play, or I think even train since he injured himself against Honduras on national team duty. Ahmed Hamdi took a knock in training. It doesn't look serious, but he needs further assessing. We don't know much about Waterman's status because he was still rehabbing the last time we did have information, and Camacho is officially unavailable for the game. So it seems like most of the decisions will be game time. So even on our side, there's a lot of guessing and of difficult moments right now, because we don't even know who exactly is going to be available for the game. Such an important game, right?
I'd be willing to bet Ramel Kyoto starts up top. That's about the only certainty I would be willing to place money on.
Yeah, for sure.
But guys, like, depth is very important nowadays in modern football. Right?
Are you going to hit us with some optimism?
Not really, but look, I'm trying to be realistic. Okay, look at last season. Last season, Montreal has had a lot of injuries during the whole year. A lot of injuries. And we saw that if you look at the games individually or as a whole, even if sometimes, yes, it showed the fact that, some key players weren't there, at the end of the day, the performances of the team as a whole were pretty standard most of the time. It was very consistent. Sorry. So I like the depth that we have in that squad to maintain the same level of play. I like the depth. The only thing is, I think we do need a few game changers. Yes, that's for sure. We lack a bit of quality. I completely agree with that. But the depth is here to be able to stay at the same level, like for most of the years, and whatever injuries that you have. So am I worried? Yes, I am worried because we lack some game changers, but I'm not worried if we're missing Johnson or Piet, because Johnson, we didn't have Johnson last year, so, and we did well defensively. Piet wasn't a starter last year and was okay. We were okay last year, so I don't know. I'm not really worried.
Okay, so you said that we didn't have Johnson last year, which is correct. However, we did have Camacho. We don't have him at least for the first game. So that's kind of, and you would assume realistically that Camacho and Johnson will probably be in, if Wilfred Nancy chooses a back three formation, your other two with Kamal Miller. So there's gonna be a pretty intense depth test along the back line right off the bat. The advantage being that, of course, Kamal Miller does have some really good competitive minutes in his legs already.
I understand, and I completely understand your worries. The thing is, last year we played with Zoran Bastong as a center back. And
I remember.
He had some decent games as a center back. He did. He had some not very good games, but he had some decent games. And I remember here on the Bullis round, a couple of times you're like, you know what? He did well. I prefer him as a center back than as a left back or as a wing back. So right this year, you have a lot more depth at this position. And you have Carifa Yao coming out of a great season with CPL.
That's important.
You have Corbo, that's a previous Italian youth international. You have Tarkelson also. So you have depth that you didn't have last year.
It's depth, but it's a lot of inexperience, and
that's the thing. Go ahead, Sam.
I mean, no. The thing is, I think young players will always be very, primed to make an impact, but I don't think their presence in a lineup for these big games can be necessarily sustainable. But I might be wrong, because one of Louis Binks's best games he played in the club was his first ever. And it was against the Honduran team, which the name I just forgot.
Olympia.
Olympia, there you go. At the Olympic Stadium, Louis Binks had a fantastic game. So I don't know. It's maybe a misconception that we have that youth sometimes is a gamble in these big games. But still, you always like to lean on your experienced players for these short competitions in which, because we know what's going to happen. CONCACAF has its own folklore, so it's chippy, it's questionable refereeing sometimes. So how do your young players react in these situations, more so when they're not used to it?
That reminds me, guys, I'm so sorry, but you just gave me a brain fart. Is there VAR in this edition of CONCACAF? I feel like no, eh?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I'm not sure. Good question.
Think so. Yeah, guys, I really don't think so. Go ahead.
I just wanted to be a bit more precise. I'm not saying that, for sure, we're going to be great. And, we have, all I'm saying is we might be surprised. That's all I'm saying.
Of course.
Because last year we didn't have depth and we suffered. And this year we do have depth. And I don't want to say Corbo, Torkelson, Waterman, these players are here for a reason, to get minutes.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Eve.
My apologies. Apparently, it will be used in the 2022 CONCACAF Champions League. VAR will be used. Good. I apologize.
Nice. Oh, but that's good. No need to apologize. That's awesome.
Great.
No, that was my brain
you
part.
were talking about a surprise. We might be surprised. What I want to ask you is, I want you guys to predict a surprise in the starting 11 of Nancy, because clearly there's going to be some with the injuries, the statuses of a lot of players. I want you to predict one surprise for the starting 11. And it can be something as random as, in Saprissa, Yuka Raitala walked out the first game with the captain's armband. That was
Yeah.
definitely a surprise for all of
Yeah.
us. So I just need a surprise, anyone.
A
Go ahead, you start.
surprise. Oh gosh, no. You know what? I really don't think we're gonna be surprised. To be honest with you, I
Okay.
think
Okay.
my
Well, that's a
my
surprise.
honest,
Okay.
yeah, I don't. I think that Wilfred Nancy is gonna play it pretty safe, and I think he's gonna go with as close to the formation that he utilized the most last year as possible, given that the squad is still in preseason mode.
Cool.
So I think the surprises will be no surprises.
Okay.
Except
Cool.
obviously, like the absentees, we're gonna have to compensate for them with other players filling in.
Cool.
I think the surprise would be Lassie as a starter. I'm not very excited about that, but I just hope that Lassie is gonna make me like really like regret all the words that I've said about him in the past year.
Well,
But yeah, I'm not gonna be very excited if he is, but I have the feeling that he will be a starter in this game.
he better be. He's a TAM player.
Yeah,
You know he's gonna earn
Interesting,
those $10, the
Yeah.
Garber money.
My kind of surprise, if we want. I know for some it won't be a surprise at all. Some it will be one. I think James Van Temis will get the start, most definitely.
This is not a hot take. We said a hot take.
Yeah.
No, it's not as a hot take, but I think a lot of people are expecting Sebastian Breza to be in net. I think James Van Temis will be given the net, and
I
a
hope
bit like
James Van
last year,
Temis.
go ahead, it's yours, and we'll see what happens. I really think he'll have it. So that's out of nothing because we don't know anything about preseason, right? But yeah, I think he'll be given the chance. Guys,
we have a question. Sorry, Sam, from Chan. Lassie as left back, a left wing back? No, I don't think so.
Oh, please, no.
I'm not gonna try to guess the formation of Wilfred Nancy. But
I already did.
Yeah, but like for me, like he could play as a left winger, maybe in a new formation. He could play as a striker, but I don't think we're going to see him back as a left wing back. I would be very, very surprised.
Look, I can't drink that much beer on a Tuesday night, Wilfred. Okay.
Yeah, but like you need a game to drink beer on a Tuesday night. You don't really need the game.
Well, Sam, let me tell you. No, if Lassie starts at left wing back, I'll be breaking into smarter stuff. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry to Lassie. But yeah, that's not your position.
No, but you know what, Hady, when you said that Lassie would start, automatically in my head, the question raised, and it was, well, if he does start, where does he play?
Yeah, I think he's going to be as a striker. He's going to play
a striker,
either in a 3-4-3 as like behind the striker, behind Kyoto, or in a 3-5-2 next to Kyoto, like being
like a second striker,
the second striker, or because he's going to be able to go behind the defense and use his pace, because that's one of the things that he's very good at. He has a lot of pace, so that's I think that's where he'll play most of the time if we keep the current formation.
Listen, if Wilfred Nancy does go with a change formation, and let's say because we're a bit short in center backs right now with the statuses of Camacho, Johnston, and Waterman, if he does go with a back four, decides to play very deep, and try to hit Santos Laguna and on the break, I think Lassie can definitely be an option on the wing in a 4-4-2 as a left winger, or a 4-5-1. That could be interesting. And Lassie does have his quality. He has a lot of pace. His defending is not great, but when he's not the last barrier of defense, if he's a winger defending deep, where there's a real defender behind him, he can be useful because he'll track the runs of the opposition players, and he's not that horrible defensively. He's just not a defender.
He's good
defensively. That's where he's not a defender, and we used him in that position where he didn't look good, obviously. But if we do go with a back four, I definitely see Lassie in the lineup. Definitely see him. So we'll see, Andy, man. It was a bit of a hot take, but very, very possible that it happens.
I'll see. I think we're sticking as close to last year's lineup as humanly possible.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the thing is also, don't forget that Santos Laguna don't know that Lassie is a one-trick pony, right? So
But they
maybe
have access to like I'm sure they have access to like kind of archival footage from
2019, last time
MLS.
we played.
No, we
Well, if
saw
they
some
see
in
his highlights
It's
from
a
2021.
the game against
joke.
Philly,
It's
his
a
first game
joke.
in Montreal, man, they're gonna put three players on him. He's taking the ball off Nacho Piatti's feet
Yeah,
and running to score. So,
yeah.
No, it's a joke,
no,
Eve.
we'll
I know.
see.
I know he played a few games last year, but
I know.
He did.
I would be grateful if that's all they saw was 2019 Lassie because that's what got
Oh
us.
yeah,
That's what got us all excited.
yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I'm really sorry. We
So
gotta be nicer to the poor guy. I'm really sorry.
I mean, you know,
Listen,
listen,
we say it like it is, right?
yeah, I
Yeah.
think we try though.
I just feel like
We try
I
to be as
feel like a jerk. Like, and you know, it's 2022. It's new season. It's New Year's.
Yeah.
The slate is clean.
New
yeah,
year,
exactly.
new year, new Lassie. Never know.
Maybe, maybe. Guys, I want to ask you, in which mindset can we expect Montreal to approach this game? So, can we expect our team to go guns blazing, try to score away, and pin Santos Laguna against the wall, or can we expect more of a prudent start? Also, given that it will be our first game of the season and the
Mm-hmm.
fitness level of the players are a bit, we're
I
not
think
sure yet because they didn't play a full 90.
I'd expect it to be pretty play it pretty safe. I wouldn't expect them
Okay.
to take too many risks. You know, I did look it up, and the stadium of Santos, which I'm not going to, the Estadio Corona, is at a little bit of elevation as well. It's considered low in the interior of Mexico. Thank you, Google. But there is going to be a little bit of an altitude factor in that match, which is not going to be easy for a team's first competitive match of the season at all. So I would expect Wilfred Duncey's team to play it pretty safe. If they can nab something off the counter, fantastic.
I have two answers to this question.
And you know what? I kind of do too, to be honest with you. But go ahead.
Go ahead.
My second answer was going to be, holy crap, go score a goal because they're going to be very light at the defense. Like, you know already there's going to be certain players who haven't played together along the back line, whether it's a back three or a back four. So you can kind of anticipate that defensively it might be a little bit weak compared to what we're used to for Montreal. Not that Montreal's ever been like a necessary defensive fortress here, but you know. So then I was kind of stuck in that mindset where like maybe they should just get up the field and try to live there. So I'm kind of a little bit torn, but I think realistically they'll probably try to play it safe because it's on the road.
Listen, I have. There's the realistic guy in me that says that we should be exactly like you said at first. We should be very defensive. We should not take a lot of risks. We should be, try to concede the least goals as possible away from home, altitude, the fact that we're in preseason mode and everything. But there's also the gambler in me. And the gambler in me is that's exactly what Santos Laguna is expecting. We all know that Montreal in the Champions League has a reputation of being the counter team. People haven't seen the Liga MX team, all of them didn't see the change in mentality that Montreal has had in the last couple of seasons. The fact that they're able to possess the ball, the fact that they're able to play with the ball in their feet and really go from behind, play short, and go up. And I want to see that because it's going to unbalance them so much because I'm sure they're not, they don't expect that at all. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Away from home. And we've been so good playing that way. And the fact that we didn't really change our squad from last year to this year, except with what you said about the defense. But Torkelson was here last year. Waterman was here last year. He trained with the team, so he knows how the team plays, right? So you only have Corbo that's really a new player, and maybe Yao because he didn't spend the whole season with the team. But like the players that are there know how Wilfred Nancy wants his team to play. So I kind of want to choose the gambler side. I'm as you know, as a journalist, as a podcaster, I like to take gambles. I
Mhm.
don't go safe with my predictions or whatever it is because I think it's not fun. So
Mm.
I would go. I would be the gambler Hady, and I would go with possession style football for the first game. What do you
I mean,
think, Sam?
every
Uh, for sure, Wilfred Nancy will be sitting and thinking about, this team he's playing against is not in good form. There's a lot of pressure. People who went on their social media have witnessed that it's a mess over there. Everyone's
it's a little
asking for.
familiar.
Well, we know all about it, and that's the nature of sports, right? You lose 4 games in a row, and now the coach has to go, the president has to go, the players have to go. So this is where they are at the moment. Now, Wilfred Nancy can't get too redheaded, hot-headed with that, and he has to keep his cool and think about really realistically how he has to approach this game, because it's not 90 minutes, and it's 180, maybe more minutes that that he's going at. So I think that he'll be tempted to go straight at the throat, go for the first round knockout and really hurt them early because they're a team that are already struggling. But I think it's gonna be a bit more of it's gonna be a battle that will be long, and it's gonna be it won't happen in the first 15-30 minutes. We
Mm.
won't score 3 goals and lead 3-0, and Santos Laguna
Oh
just
my
gives up.
god.
I think that would be great, but I don't think that's how we're approaching it, because going for the throat is a nice approach, but you expose yourself for the counter
Yeah.
punch, if I stay in the boxing analogy. So no, I don't think that's how we're gonna approach the game. I think we're really gonna go slow. We're gonna pace ourselves. We're gonna play on our strengths, and I think at the moment it's gonna be to play a very yes, possession based game, but I think we're gonna value the defensive work first, and not get exposed by the team, because
Mhm.
they're just begging for anything to get confidence, the Santos Laguna, and maybe dragging them in this long winded, you know, difficult game is gonna hurt them more than really trying to attack them all along. So that would be my bet. But Wilfred Nancy always has a knack of surprising us. So it's gonna be very, very interesting in my opinion.
Yeah, so sorry about the baby noises, guys, but there's nothing I can do. I have
No.
like 3 doors. Like he's far, but like yeah, man, he has a lot of energy now. So sorry about
It's okay,
that.
man.
I want him to do like did you guys ever see that viral video of the guy trying to do an interview on the news, and his 2 kids, or his kid comes like running in, and then the mom chases the kid, and I was like, oh my god. Did you guys ever see that viral video? Oh, it's so
No,
no,
never.
cute.
no.
I'll just send it to you guys after, because it's really funny. So like that's kind of my hope, is that one day your child just casually comes in and crashes your video.
Yeah, maybe one day it will happen. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
Um,
Nadim will be he'll go older, so
He'll be the special guest of the day.
yeah.
Okay, I just want to add one last thing about that last comment that we talked about, that last question that we talked about. Um, I'm not trying to guess what Wilfried Nancy will do. That's not the way I see things. I give my opinion. So
Sure.
because I see a lot of people say, "Ah, you see, you weren't right." Um, that's not like, I'm not trying to be in Wilfried Nancy's mind. I'm just trying to say these are the options. These are the things that I thought about, and this is what decision I will take if I was in Wilfried Nancy's shoes. So that's very important for me to be precise about what I'm saying, and the decision that I took. I want to see a possession team.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Guys, so this is the fun part. I want one bold statement for the game. So anything. It can be the
Something
weather, it
else.
can be the referee, it
Another
can
bold
be,
statement. Oh
of
God. Okay.
course, yeah. Yeah. Because
Are
now
you
we were
writing
we
it
were trying to.
down? Are you writing them down,
I
Sam?
will.
Because I don't
I will.
remember what we said last week, when we said last week or two weeks ago, when we had a bold Bold prediction for the year.
season?
I don't remember what I said.
Oh,
Yeah, about the
I
season.
said like Joey Saputo comes back and is super hands-on. I remember that.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not really bold, but yeah.
I don't remember what I said.
It's
I'll go listen to
bold.
the episode anyway.
We
So
should
for the
write
game,
them
yeah.
down.
Yeah, I will.
But I want
guys-
Sam to start this time. We always start, so Sam,
Yeah, sure.
go ahead.
I think this game finishes 10 versus 10.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
10
Okay.
versus 10.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's my bold
specific.
statement. So yeah. I think
Okay.
it's gonna be a tough physical game and chippy, a bit dirty, and both teams have a player sent off at different moments. Not an incident, a clash between two players. It's really gonna be two separate incidents where two players are sent off, one for each team. So here's my bold statement.
Okay. I think they are going to bust out the VAR, and I think VAR will actually screw it up. I think VAR will be wrong. Like, even, do you remember though, like,
you're so pessimistic, it's just not normal. It's just not normal.
It's CONCACAF refereeing, yo. Like, do you recall in the match of Canada versus Honduras versus Canada, of all moments to use VAR, they used it on that one random tackle on Sam Piet where there wasn't it was not a red card. Even in Sunday League, it would not be a red card, you know? So I'm a little concerned at the CONCACAF referees' familiarity with VAR. So I really think they're gonna bust out the VAR, and I think whatever they do with it, they're gonna screw it up.
You know what? If someone tells me, okay, what does Eve like? Just describe Eve in a sentence. I would
Rage.
say, I would say, I'm a little concerned. That's exactly the sentence that would go with Eve. No, but I'll give you a bold statement. It's a hot take more than a bold statement. Again, it's the gamblers in Hady.
That's what we should have a segment. Hady's hot takes. I want to have a Hady's hot takes segment. Followed up by Eve's cold beers.
I'm gonna say a goal from Bjorn Johnson.
What? Okay.
Is he even fit? I don't think he's gonna be on the bench.
Nah. I'm still gonna say a goal from Bjorn Johnson.
Well,
so
that's
a miracle
bold.
recovery.
Yeah, it's really
That's
bold.
bold.
Maybe he'll play like 5-10 minutes at the end, or and just score a goal. Nah, but no. If I want to be really realistic,
like in the realm,
he's not gonna play. He's not gonna. Play. I'm pretty sure he's not even gonna be on. But I just like bold statements. So yeah, I would say a goal from Bjorn Johnson.
That's Ghost Pepper hot take.
True.
Cool. So that's written down. So I went for 2 red cards, 1 per team. Eve went for VAR messes up, and Hady goes a goal for Bjorn Janssen. So that's written down, guys. We won't forget this time. Guys, I want to ask you, do we feel Montreal did a good job promoting the Champions League this year and putting the newer fans aware of the historic nature of this matchup?
I'm going to try to put on my diplomatic pants here.
You don't have to.
So a video obviously today did come out with Eduardo Sabrango, who was a hero of that first leg in 2009. And he kind of relived that match for him, and it was really nice and it was really touching. And one of the things that I have enjoyed is seeing the club come a little bit closer with its history this year, and in some other publications we've noticed they've not hidden gold logo and stuff. So I like that for old fans. But as far as new fans who might have just come on board perhaps in the past couple of years, honestly, if I weren't already involved here, I wouldn't know there was a game happening. And I understand as well there was a lot of brouhaha about the broadcasting. So there was some back and forth, and maybe the game was going to be picked up by a network. And unfortunately, it wound up being that One Soccer chose to exercise its rights and keep the game, which is totally welcome to do, of course. Like they paid for the rights. So, there is kind of a missed opportunity for sure. I don't know. Like I live right by the stadium, like right in that neighborhood. and I haven't seen a thing to indicate to me that a big game is coming.
But like, yeah, I'm sorry, Eve. Like, I don't know how we can point fingers at the club. Like, the club is doing what they can with the limited resources that they have. They're tweeting every day. They did the -7, -6 with Sabrango being here.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to show stuff
Right.
like,
But
you know. I'm sorry, but if the traditional media doesn't want to promote the game, like, there's nothing that they can do. Like,
yeah,
And there's the
they're
fact
sending
that
emails. They're like, you only have a presence
yeah,
on social media. There's
yeah,
so
yeah,
much that you
you're
can
right.
do. And then,
mm-hmm.
around the stadium, who goes to the stadium in the winter, man? Like, who
People
goes
who
there?
go for walks
Like,
Yeah, there's
okay,
people who
yeah,
when
but
the
walk next to the
weather's
stadium,
nice.
I know,
the
but
Parc
Like
like,
Maisonneuve
Beachfront
and
Park
stuff.
is
but
right
this,
there.
yeah, but this is not like, it's nothing. Like, it's nothing. Like, there's nothing that, like,
The Olympic Stadium is a vaccination site.
yeah, but still, but like, what are you gonna do? Get vaccinated and get a free ticket to the
No,
Santos Laguna
but
game?
I'm
Like, what the
saying,
fuck? Like, what do
like,
you want to do? Sorry,
no, what
sorry,
I'm
Eve's mom.
saying is like you put up like a little sign at the entrance being like also happening at the Olympic Stadium. Soccer. And to be fair, like actually, because I just walked in there like not that long ago. Well, they were advertising 2021 season tickets. So I guess
But that's
people
not.
know soccer's
But
happening.
that's not the club's fault, right? Like, Stade Olympique is not the club's property, right?
No,
Yeah,
but
you're
they
right.
can.
You're right.
Can they not buy advertising space?
Do you think that do you, first of all, how much does it cost?
Oh, I have no idea.
Second of all,
Yeah.
does the Stade Olympique want to sell those advertising spaces now that there's a vaccination thing going on? I don't know. Like, there's a whole side of things that we don't really know about. For me, who I blame is the media.
The
The
media, yeah,
media,
that's interesting,
the
Eddie, man.
media is not
Interesting.
really doing their job. Now, I understand that there's like broadcasting rights, and I understand that sometimes you cannot buy the broadcasting rights, like you said, Eve.
Mhm.
One Soccer doesn't want to release the broadcasting rights, and it's okay. And they did for Sportsnet. I don't know why they didn't do it for French TV, but Sportsnet is going to be able to broadcast the game. Yeah, that's
Broadcast
what
the
I read.
Champions League game.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, I
They
think
got Kent.
I can check. I'll check in a few seconds. So yeah, like, what do you want the club to do? I can't. No, for me, it's not the club's fault. It's as simple as that. I'm not gonna add
And
anything else.
But okay, I see what you're saying. But the thing, like with Eduardo Sabrango, right, is that speaks to fans who have been around for a while. Fans who haven't been around
Yeah,
for a while, like admit like I've studied, so I know,
yeah,
and I thought
yeah.
it was nice,
yeah,
but it doesn't. And they also did that highlight video of goals from the past, right? Like
yeah,
epic goals from past Champions Leagues.
yeah,
And those are nice, but like if you're, because Sam's question was about newer fans, right?
yeah, yeah.
It doesn't speak to them.
But what do you want them to do? That's what I say. Sportsnet doesn't have the rights.
No,
Sorry,
it's
I
just
messed
it's
up.
just
That's
the World Cup
TSN
qualifiers.
TSN 690, 91.9, the two radios,
Yeah.
and One Soccer. One Soccer
Yeah.
doesn't want to sell their broadcasting rights.
Yeah.
So, what do you want the club to do? Like, how can you attract
Oh.
newer people? Like, yes, what they could do, and they should have done, maybe is buy some advertising spaces in the metro, in the public transportation, on the
Yeah.
buses and everything. But like, if you get knocked out, the first game of Champions League, is it really worth it? Like, wait until you're in the semifinals, and then, yeah, you know what? Just put the big thing on it. It's too early, and again, the team is not ready to play, that high at the higher level yet. So, I don't
But
know.
there is something. Sorry,
Yeah,
Eve,
oh
there
my
is
God.
something. Maybe that club, because of the COVID restrictions by the government for stadiums, were expecting to lose
Too.
a lot of money going into this game. So
Yeah.
maybe their thought
Possible.
was, maybe we'll slack a bit on
Slack people.
advertisement for this game, and because we're gonna lose money anyway. Now that it's changed, they didn't have a lot of time to
Hmm.
adjust,
Okay,
and
I feel you on that.
for the media part, the Canadians fired their coach this week, so we all know
Oh
everyone jumped on that,
yes.
and they hired a Hall of Famer from Quebec to coach. So of course, the more, let's
I
say,
understand.
generalist journalists will be all over this news, and they'll be talking
Mhm.
about it
Listen,
day in day out. So Montreal,
I,
CF Montreal might have been hurt by this a little bit,
uh,
but still, I think, within the club, yes, they could have done maybe a bit more. I would have loved to hear from I know John Limniatis and Sandro Grande went on Can FC podcast.
yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
They got to talk about their experience. But I would have loved to hear, ex players, even fans who maybe
Hmm.
traveled to Mexico. How did they feel that day? And really get into that vibe and that preparation to the game. Because like my question was, the newer fans need to know of how big Santos Laguna is for the club.
yeah.
It was
Hmm.
a disaster this day in Mexico. It haunted the club, and I remember Nick DeSantis talking about it. Almost like crying about like what happened on that day, and so it really hurt the club at that moment. And I think going into this game, it's important people know that what happened and that we're on a revenge course in a sense.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing. Okay, the Canadians, losing their coaches and firing their coach. Okay, I understand that it takes most of the space. I completely understand that,
Hmm.
and it's completely normal. Okay, but if every sports, um, uh, every sports show, whether on the radio or on the TV or or anything, just gives one sentence, 1 minute to CF Montreal. Every show has to give at least 1 minute because they're playing a Champions League. I'm not asking. Let's say it's a show of an hour. You can spend a minute or two on CF
Of course,
Montreal.
of course,
So that's the only thing that I understand that yes, maybe people are not attracted to CF Montreal, but if you want to see if the sport can be something that can grow into an attraction, then I would need to see at least a bit more effort from traditional media. Go ahead, Eve.
One thing I would say, thank you, because I was like, I'm gonna open my mouth, and then I regretted it. One thing I will say is that we also need to kind of bear in mind that there's no president right now, right? So somebody who might be making some of those deals with media and whatnot, and working on the business side of things, which I'm sure would include, partnerships and advertising. And I'm really sorry. Again, I am not a businesswoman, so I'm not 100% sure how it works. But there's no president, right? So there's no president. So they're kind of like not fumbling in the dark. That's not a polite way to put it, but you know what I mean. There's nobody at the helm of the ship dictating these things unless Joey Saputo secretly has returned and is super hands-on. And then my hot take is correct.
I'm gonna use Chan's. I'm gonna use Chan's message to
Yes.
answer you. I understand that there's no president, but someone clearly told the social media team that they are able to use colors
Colors.
again. They are
Yeah.
able to use the club, the Impact's logo again. So there are decisions already taken on the marketing side. So even if there isn't a president, I'm pretty sure that someone is taking decisions on the marketing
And
side. So I wouldn't blame it on the club being
mhm.
president-less.
No. I was just trying to think of some kind of logic, right?
Yeah,
One thing I would say is that I kind of agree with you there, Hattie, because it seems like a decision was taken this week as well, when the club changed Twitter handles
yeah, yeah.
from
yeah,
Club de Foot MTL
yeah.
to
The foot is
CF
not there
Montreal.
anymore. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, and I mean that's got to be some kind of decision. So I would agree with you that perhaps it's not entirely, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to negotiating some of those things, like maybe
Yeah, but
with media.
Joey Saputo should be able, like, he did that for a while. So
Yeah.
by the in the meantime, someone has to take those decisions. So maybe it's Joey Saputo taking.
But
those
he also
decisions,
spent half his presidency complaining about the lack of buzz, right? So maybe he didn't do a very good job of it. I'm really sorry, Joey Saputo. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Please don't ban me.
There's something though when we talk about the media coverage. In 2015, I remember, because the CONCACAF Champions League is such a short competition. It's not like in Europe where there's group stages, there's these knockout legs afterwards, and it goes on for months. It's very short. And I remember media in Montreal, quarterfinals, not too much in it. Then there was the Porter goal. It picked up.
Yeah.
And I remember like the week building up to the second leg in Montreal of the final. You couldn't hear anything else on there. It was all Montreal Impact. There was interviews with everyone. Players were everywhere. So if this competition is so hyped up when you're in the final, why isn't it when you're in the quarterfinals? It's so short. You have a short amount of time to sell it. Just do it,
Yeah. But is it the club's fault?
No, it's not a club. No, that there you are. Eve brought something with the presidency, and so it could have an impact on.
Yeah, for sure. It does have an impact. For
presence,
sure.
But I think our traditional media could do a bit more. But maybe I'm missing on what they're doing. I don't know, but I think.
Admittedly, I don't have cable, so I should probably keep my mouth shut.
No, but when we say traditional media, it can be radio also. Like, it's not only about TV, right? Like, you can go on web radio. Like, you don't need to buy anything to get radio.
But
right? So all I'm saying is I'm not blaming any journalist in particular. That's very important because you have so many good soccer journalists in Quebec. Really, really good soccer journalists.
And to be fair, I really like their work. Those who are covering, they do a good job.
Very different.
It's not a criticism. We're just
very different profiles too. Like, if you want someone that's a bit more likes sensations and to give you drama and everything, you can find whoever you want. If you want someone that's more an ex-player mind, you have you have everything that you need. On the journalism scene in Montreal. The only thing is, I think the directors of content, they usually decide what's going to be on the shows, for me, are not doing a good enough job. It's okay to give a week one show on soccer. That's perfect. Okay, good. You need more. One show on soccer per week is not enough. You need more. You need to have at least in the general sports show, as I said earlier, 1-2 minutes on CF Montreal every day, 1-2 minutes on a 1 hour show, or a 30-minute show. It's nothing.
Okay,
it could be done.
It goes hand in hand, right? If the listeners tune out, or the viewers, whatever, the readers tune out during that 1 to 2 minutes, then no one's going to want to present it. So it goes hand in hand. Like, the club has to merit it, right?
But the club last year was, I understand we finished in 10th position, and I know that's going to be the first argument you're going to throw.
I know. What I'm just saying is but
it was exciting. We watched some very, very nice games last year. There was a lot of good football being played. So I understand maybe you're not going to be able to convert everybody, right? I understand there's going to be a lot of people that are going to tune out whenever there is this 1 or 2 minutes. But there are a lot of people that are going to be, you know what? I know so many people that they don't have an opinion on soccer. Those people, they are the ones that should be targeted. The people that don't have an opinion. So by giving them 1 or 2 minute segments in every sports show, you are able to increase that conversion rate, if I can name it that way.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, no, I get what you're getting at, for sure. And at the end of the day, I kind of feel like it's got to be a more symbiotic relationship than it actually is.
Yeah. There's a lot of factors that go into it.
Of
It
course.
can't be only the media.
Mhm.
It can't be only the club or the
It's
the supporters. It's
it's
A
everyone
little,
everything.
together. But
yes.
that's an eternal discussion debate that we have in Montreal. So so guys, I need a prediction.
Oh
Oh
man.
yes,
Oh
oh yes,
man.
of
Oh
course.
man.
Okay, I will give you mine. 1-0 to Santos Laguna.
Oh wow.
Okay, Eve, Eddie.
Do you want realistic Hattie or gambler Hattie?
Who do
There
you
can only
want?
be one.
Choose your Eddie.
I'm always gonna choose gambler Hattie.
I
This
know.
is who I am, right? I would go a 1-1 draw.
Okay, I got 1-1 too. I've got one
Okay.
one as well. So
Oh, fear not, your
so no
resident
one has a
pessimist
win.
is back.
I think we're gonna lead. We're gonna lead
Mhm.
1-0, and then we're gonna get scored at in the last 15 minutes.
We've
As
got
is the
some scores
Montreal
that came in,
way.
guys.
Yeah.
So we have predictions for Max Rokatansky 1-1, and our dear friend Chan with a
He's
3-1
Team
Santos
Oh,
Eve.
Laguna. Yeah,
oh,
he's always
Chan,
Team
come
Eve. He's
on, man.
pessimistic, Chan. I like him.
No, Chan is a realist. Yeah. Yeah. But
Cool. So,
hey,
guys,
an
any?
away goal counts a lot.
Yeah, 3-1 is
Yes.
not a bad
Oh
result.
hell yes.
Yeah.
Guys, anything to add for the Santos Laguna game? Pretty much,
No.
Yeah,
okay.
I just want to
Go
say
ahead.
just a few things about Santos Laguna because it's important. We didn't. I did some research and I talked to a few people that really know about the club, and a lot of people are talking about the new signing that's called Harold Preciado that comes from Colombia. That's a striker, but there are also other players that really we should keep an eye on. Brian Lozano, the Uruguayan in midfield, it's very good and can play as a winger. Is very good. And don't forget, guys, there is the next Mexican national team goalkeeper there.
Mhm.
That should take the place of Guillermo Ochoa in the future was Carlos Acevedo. So you have a very good goalkeeper in Santos Laguna, and you have other players that are very good, um, and of course, don't ever forget there is a Lebanese player in the squad. It's a
Oh,
backup goalkeeper, Gibran Lajoud. He's
Well,
Lebanese descent. Of course, he's Mexican,
but it
but
counts for you.
Lebanese
okay,
descent. So
okay.
yeah. So just a
Heidi,
few
don't
words on
tell
Santos
me.
Laguna. What?
Don't tell me that means you're going to switch allegiances.
No, no way,
No,
man.
he won't.
You
He
need a
won't.
bit
Come
more
on.
than one player with a Lebanese descent.
Okay. Just checking.
Guys, quickly, we'll go on to the preseason games that were played this week. Not much to say because we didn't
The
we didn't have
mysterious
access to anything.
preseason.
We know that Montreal played Philly. They decided to play 120 minutes and not 90. We lost
Mhm.
2-1. And per Wilfred Nancy, the goal scorer for Montreal was Ismail Kone. And we played Miami FC, which is the USL team of
Yeah.
Miami, yesterday. 2-1 win. No idea who scored. I don't know if you guys have any more
No.
information than I, but
Yeah.
The first goal was scored in transition, and the second was a header.
was a header, yeah.
That is my knowledge. Thank you,
Yeah.
Miami's Twitter.
Yeah.
I have just a few answers from Wilfried Nancy after the first game, the loss against the Union. So he gave a few points that I'm going to share with you. I wasn't able to go to the presser myself, but I was able to listen to it afterwards. So he said they played 120 minutes. The reason behind that is very simple. They wanted to give playing time to all the players. So all the players had
Cool.
time on the pitch, which is really awesome ahead of that Santos Laguna game. He talked a bit about the goal, Ismail Kone, as you said, Sam. He said it was a good shot outside of the area from the left foot after a good combination play. So that's really nice because there was some sort of construction within the goal, which I like that. He also said something, and he said it a couple of times with different words. He said nothing really changed squad wise from last season, and he used unfortunately. He said it is. He said it is a decision. I'm okay with that. So he's okay with that. He likes that they didn't change that
He
much. So
likes
I don't know. It
that.
was a bit very. It was weird because he said both at the same time. He said yes, we have some injured players. We're going to try our best to find solutions to be efficient in attack. And he also said we need to be more aggressive defensively, and that's something that they want to improve on after those preseason games. He said that there's something that needs a bit of improvement. He was asked also about the young players because Kone scored a goal. So right away there was a question from a journal. I don't remember who it is, so I don't want to say the wrong name.
Okay.
He was asked about Ismail Kone and Rida Zuhir, and he said that they're young players. They're learning. It's their second season now with the professional team. They're learning, so they're not going to play a big part, from what I understood from him. And then he was asked about Santos Laguna, and he's like, yes, they're not in a good form, but they have a few players that are coming back from injury, and that we have to be aware that they could be a very good team. So we're gonna have to be serious. So those are the points that I took from the presser that could be a good way to preview that game from Wilfried Nancy's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. So thanks for that, Hady. Eve, anything to add?
No, not particularly. I mean, we don't know very much. I did find it interesting that they chose to go 120 minutes versus Philly, because of course, depending on how things play out, when they could end up with 120 minutes in CONCACAF, at least in the second leg. So I did find that interesting for sure.
Cool. So we'll move on, guys, to the women national team. The Bev Priestman's list for the Arnold Clark Cup is finally out. First of all, I just want your general reaction when you saw the list of players that Bev is bringing to England.
Yeah. So overall, I wasn't too surprised. I know last week we had talked about Sophie Schmidt's role in the national team, and that she isn't, in our opinion, really, a national team player, at least on the field anymore. However, Christine Sinclair's mother unfortunately passed away in the past week. And it based on my understanding, it sounds like Christine Sinclair would have been called up if she unfortunately had not just gone through that. And definitely our condolences to Christine Sinclair and her family. So I can understand for sure, including, another veteran kind of in her place. And so I can understand Sophie Schmidt's inclusion, but there were definitely a lot of brand new faces, as we kind of hoped and expected would happen.
Yeah, you know what? That's why I made a face when you said I wasn't surprised. I'm like, man, there's so many players that I don't know in that squad.
No. I was just referring specifically to the fact that Christine Sinclair is out. That's one veteran out. So you kind of bring another veteran back in. That's kind of what I was thinking of.
No, but I look at the squad and I was like, okay, I pride myself being someone that really watches women's soccer, and unfortunately there's a lot of players that I really don't know at all. I did my research and I'm going to talk to you about them a bit, but first of all, I think Eve, you had something to say.
We definitely need to talk about, because I think you and I are kind of co-conductors of the Evelyn Vienne hype train.
Yeah.
So we definitely were you surprised not to see her included?
Yes, I am surprised. I am very surprised.
Okay, because I actually I was initially, and then I kind of came back and I said maybe not. Maybe I can understand it. So you go first.
I'm surprised because I think that she was a part of that team, like a big part of that team, of the future of that team. But I kind of understand Bev Priestman wanting to try other players and wanting to give space to someone like Evelyn Vienne, who just got transferred in Sweden. We all know that. For her to be back on her feet. Maybe she's injured. I'm not really sure. I didn't have a chance to.
She just played and she actually scored for Kristianstad.
Yeah, exactly,
during the week.
exactly. So okay, I thought that she was injured, but yeah,
It was.
So
I think it was a preseason friendly, if I'm not mistaken.
okay. So maybe she has a bit like Pantemis, right?
That's
maybe
what I thought. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe she asked to just be left out of the squad just to win her place as a starter with Kristianstad. So that's possible too.
Yeah, I was disappointed though, nonetheless, not to see her in the squad.
Very, very disappointed. But there's so many players that I love discovering players. Okay, I'm someone I played Football Manager for years. I think the first Football Manager that I played was 93, 94. Okay, so and I've bought every edition since then in 93, 94 until now. So I love to discover new players. That's something that I think that's what's nice about the soccer world is that you always discover players that you've never heard about before. So I look at that list and I'm like, okay, who the hell is Marie-Yasmine Alidou? Who the hell is Devon Kerr? Who the hell is Victoria Pickett? We know her. And what was the third player that I wasn't sure about? The striker from
Surayeka, no?
No, Surayeka plays in Le Havre. So I know her. Tanya Boychuk, sorry.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Tanya Boychuk? So those three players I didn't know. The rest I knew a bit about them. Not that much. I'm not an expert on every one of them. So I did my research because this is exciting. This is what I like to do, right? So first of all, Devon Kerr is the backup keeper for the Washington Spirit in NWSL. It's very weird. She's 24 right now. She didn't play one game in NWSL ever. So the only reason why she was chosen is that she already played under Beth Priestman. So she knows, Beth Priestman knows her. She said she's a very good shot stopper. And she wanted to bring her in the squad so she knows and she can compare herself to the other keepers in the squad. Of course, we've seen the veteran in Erin McLeod being back.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. So maybe Devon can learn from her. We have, of course, Sabrina DeAngelo also in that squad. And, of course, Kanan Sheridan, who's the number one now, obviously. The second, do you want to add something, Eve, or do I continue with the other two?
Go to town.
Good. Okay. Alidou, Marie-Yasmine Alidou is a Quebecer. And Beth Priestman was asked about Alidou, and she's like, you know what? A lot of her scouting happens over video. But from what I've seen from Marie-Yasmine Alidou, she can massively cover ground. She's athletic, and she could play quickly. I love that. I love that because that means that Beth Priestman wants to play possession football. That's what I see. When I read that, I see possession football, and that's what I love. And she said those traits I've seen and I've heard great things, not only from seeing the video footage, but from people who've seen her and worked with her over a period of time. It's just a different quality that she could add in our midfield. I like that. I like that because we talked about, and you said it a bit earlier, Eve, about Desiree Scott and Sophie Schmidt. They're both called up, but at one point, one of them is going to be dropped out. So getting new players into the squad to fill those roles is going to be important, and maybe Alidou could be one of those players.
Yeah.
Anything to add?
No, I definitely agree with you. As well, I was kind of a little bit concerned that some of the players who have just signed their first contracts, who have just made a move, maybe would, kind of, they wouldn't get called up either, similar to, either because they're not necessarily in form or because they want to prove themselves with their club. And at the end of the day, this is a friendly tournament. It's not FIFA. So I was a little bit concerned, but I was really relieved to see, Jesse Fleming, or sorry, not Jesse Fleming, my apologies. I was really relieved to see like Julia Grosso come in,
Yeah.
and that was she was kind of one I was like a little bit curious about, I guess, for want of a better word, as well. Gabrielle Carl, it's not that long ago she made her move to Kristianstad. So I was also like, a part of me was like, oh no. But good news is they are in the squad. So I was really thrilled to see that they were able to come.
Yeah, I want to talk about the last player. We talked about three new players that I didn't know. Again, I don't know them, so I'm just excited because I don't know them. So I'm not saying that I know and I watched them play, but I'm excited about Tanya Boychuk, 21 years old. She's a striker. She reminds me of Evelyn Vian because she plays in NCAA, and I'm going to show you just a list of honors that she got in the NCAA in the last few years. So 2021 AAC All Conference First Team.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
2021 AAC Offensive Player of the Week in October. 2021 AAC Preseason All Conference Team. Second Team All American. United Soccer Coaches All South Region. All Conference First Team. Offensive Player of the Week again. Canadian Youth International Player of the Year candidate. I love that. I read that and I'm like, okay, why didn't I hear from her earlier?
Well, yeah, that was kind of my question. I was like, how was she come out of left field all of a sudden?
Exactly. So I want to see that. I want to see those players given a chance. Now, we do have a lot of very good strikers or offensive players within that team. I am aware of that.
Yeah.
But it's good to bring the young blood into the team. Play the youth, guys. Play the youth.
No,
right?
but one thing I would say is, at least say in the second game of the quote unquote victory tour, as well as the friendlies versus Mexico back in December. Honestly, like up front, Canada didn't. I wasn't like jumping out of my seat here. With Canada striking attack. So I'm thrilled to have some fresh blood, because honestly, especially in the friendlies versus Mexico, I thought it was a little bit stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't forget.
Yeah, I know it was. You're right, but you know what? I love that Bev Priestman is trying to turn things around.
That's the thing is,
new things.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm saying. Especially because it's a tournament against really quality sides, and it's a friendly tournament, so it's there's not podiums and medals and stuff on the line. Of course, there's trophy involved, but nonetheless.
Yeah.
So can we expect can we expect Brave Priestman to play her whole squad, or are we gonna see like a very fixed 11 and a few subs here and there? How is it gonna work, you think, guys?
Listen, you have 3 games in a very short span of a very
and
short
plus
time.
traveling.
Yeah,
I think you have a bit of traveling, not that much. But yeah, 17th, 20th, 23rd, you can't play the same 11 every game, right? So yes, we're going to see players get minutes. Maybe not all the players, but I don't think that all 4 goalkeepers are going to get minutes. I think that maybe 2 goalkeepers will get minutes, maybe Sheridan and McLeod. That's what I think will happen, or Sheridan and DeAngelo. That's what I think.
That would be my guess.
Yeah. One last thing that I want to say, unless if you want to add something.
I did have a thought.
Yeah.
Bev Priestman only called 3 center backs total.
Yeah, man. Okay.
Yeah.
We're synced. We're synced.
Oh, perfect.
Where the hell is Jade Rose?
Oh, she's with the U20s, no?
I don't know. I didn't check the U20 list. But I think that you only have 3 center backs.
I know.
We have Buchanan, we have Gilles, and we have Zadorsky.
Yeah, which are the 3 starters, if you want. Well, it depends on the formation, but still.
Maybe she's in school.
I don't know, man, but like she's supposed to be the next Kadisha Buchanan, even if Buchanan is very young still. But like she's supposed to be the next big thing in a central defense. So I want to see Jade Rose get called up again. Now I'm not sure. Maybe she's injured again. I'm not really sure. I didn't see any news regarding Jade Rose, but I would have liked to see a bit more depth in the center back position.
Yeah, I'm a little bit iffy. Like I'm thrilled, Zadorsky, I think she's been in fantastic form for Spurs. And of course Khadijah Buchanan is a rock. So no concerns at all for her. And Vanessa Gilles, she's out of season right now, given that she's just transferred over to Angel City of the NWSL. So, she'll make up depth. But yeah, I really feel like they're short a center back for sure. Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out where. I know she did get called up for the U20s back in January. Jade Rose did. Yeah, but
exactly. She was there, I remember.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, university has its commitments, maybe there's a lab she can't miss.
but Boychuk is here, and she's at university too. Well, so
maybe she's not as academic of a university. I'm trying real hard here. Okay,
you're trying. I understand. And the other thing, I really wanted to see Bianca Saint Georges being called up. Maybe she's still injured because we know that she was injured for a good part of the season last year. I'm not really convinced about Shura Yeka. I watched her play a couple of games, and she's very average
versus Mexico, and I wasn't like
yeah. So I'm
sorry.
I prefer, and I've watched Bianca Saint Georges play a couple of games too, and I was impressed. So I don't know. I'm sure Bianca, if she gets back to her usual form and she finds fitness again when she's maybe in season, if she has another good season in the WSL, she will get her chance at one point. I'm pretty sure about that. But Shura Yeka, I hope that she makes me she makes me look like an idiot because as of right now I'm not impressed.
We'll see.
So yeah, I said I don't know if you have anything to add, Eve, Sam, if you have anything to add either. But
like I said, I was trying to hunt down where in the world is Jade Rose, but I don't know, unfortunately.
But the only thing I could add is because of that center back situation. We're talking in the last episode about the possibility, that we would like to see a back 3-ish 5 with wing backs. I think that possibility won't happen because I can't imagine Bev Priestman putting her 3 center backs out there, and if someone gets injured, they can't play the 390 minutes in 9 days, I think. So I think we're gonna see a back 4.
Yeah, don't forget that Quinn can play as a center back too.
Yeah.
But I think the idea might be more of midfield player. I don't know.
But you have so many midfield players with Scott, with Schmidt, with Alidou, with Grosso. All those players are here. So I kind of feel that we're going to see Quinn play in defense, maybe in a couple of games. What do you think, Eve?
I hope not. No offense, because I might like I said, Quinn is what I would love a Quinn with Montreal, any day of the week. Quinn, their profile is just fantastic when it comes to intercepting so cleanly and then redistributing kind of with a purpose. In center back, you're going to lose some of that distribution.
Yeah, they improved a lot in distribution. At one point, they weren't really good at that. And they improved in the last couple of years and really became very, very good. And we saw that last year when they played in the Olympics. Sorry.
And in Montreal, I was like, damn.
Yeah, in Montreal too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Like getting to see it in front, but yeah. I'm definitely curious to see, the new faces for sure. And yeah, overall, I'm not super surprised as far as the mix of ages, but definitely surprised by the lack of center backs.
Yeah. It's a pretty balanced and experienced versus youth squad, I think, and it's an interesting squad, definitely, guys. Guys, anything to add on the?
No, we can't. I can't watch something.
You can watch it on TSN on TV. If that's your thing. So super pumped that TSN picked up the rights.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's
I'll
gonna be
just
really
remind
nice.
people the dates. Hady, you had them, right?
Yeah, yeah. So 17th of February against England in Middlesbrough. Then the 20th of February against Germany in Norwich. And then the 23rd of February against Spain in Wolverhampton. So so at Eve's place in Wolverhampton.
At Eve's home.
I'm calling you. Yes.
So
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
very interesting.
Cool. We'll move on to the Canadian men national team. Well, we didn't have much to say this week, but we had a question come in from Roberto Terranardi, who's one of our friends of the show, and he wanted us to answer a question concerning the pots that we hear a lot. These days, because there's a debate right now. Should Canada go all in to try to be in pot three, or is pot four a problem? So you can put Addy had the question up. I'll read it for you guys. Robbie asks us, can you guys give us your thoughts on Canadian men national team making it into pot three as opposed to pot four for the World Cup? Is it that important or something overhyped? Well, that's an opinion question, so that's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Who wants to give his opinion?
Listen, I'm gonna be long when I'm gonna talk about that. So I go ahead, guys, if you have
Okay,
anything to
I'll keep
say.
it. I'll keep it short and
I'll
sweet.
keep it very short too, so go ahead, Eve. I'll go after
All
you.
right. So if you make it into pot three, it means, of course, that you have a lower chance of facing more heavyweight teams, and you have the opportunity to face off against teams in pot four, which are ostensibly weaker teams. So absolutely, any day of the week, you want to be in pot three. Period.
I'd go with, it's for sure you want to be in pot three. It's going to be probably an easier path, but it's not something that I think has
Yeah,
for a short
it's not like a
tournament.
deal breaker, but
No, no, of course
you
not. And
want it.
yeah, but anyone who listened to the show since for a while knows that my favorite World Cup ever was the 2002 World Cup, and one of my teams that I always loved was Senegal. Senegal were the last team in pot four that year, and they went to the quarterfinal
And they had
of that.
such a good team back then. Such a good
Yeah,
team.
but what do we have, Eddie?
Yeah, true,
Such
true.
a good team. We
Yeah.
have a very,
Yeah.
very good team.
I
So
like
I
the
think
similarities between the two.
yeah, exactly. So, Senegal almost made it to the semifinals of the World Cup. They were drawn in a group that had France, Uruguay, and Denmark, and they lost in a golden goal extra time against Turkey in the quarterfinals. I know it's like 20 years ago, and but still, it's an example. Well, it's my example because I chose that it was maybe a bit overhyped. I know there's plenty of example that shows that it's important to be well seated, but I don't think it's a deal
Mm.
breaker. That's just my opinion. So I'll throw it to you, Hedy.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I think you're all right. Your answers are really exactly what I'm gonna try to prove, but with a bit more, precise and a bit more information. Um,
Thank you.
I'm gonna show you guys the pots for the 2018 World Cup.
Mhm.
So the draw of 2018 World Cup, you had in pot three, you had Denmark, Iceland, Costa Rica, Sweden, Tunisia, Egypt, Senegal, and Iran. In pot four, you have Serbia, Nigeria, Australia, Japan, Morocco, Panama, Korea Republic, and Saudi Arabia. So just so that you know how it works, the pots, the draw, you have to get one team from each pot. So let's say you want to try to build the worst group ever. You can choose maybe Germany, then Spain, then Sweden, and then Japan. That's a very, very, very good group, right?
Hmm.
So, of course, usually the pot four teams are not as good at the pot as the pot three teams. So you can avoid all teams of the pot three because you cannot be drawn against them. You're just going to be
Mhm.
drawn against teams of pot four, pot two, and pot one if you're in pot three. So usually it's stronger teams in pot three. So you're going to have a better draw. But as Sam said, look at pot four in 2018, guys. Nigeria, Japan, South Korea, and Saudi Arabia. They're
And
not
Serbia.
Yeah, Morocco. Like you have Australia.
Yeah.
All those teams are pretty good. We're afraid right now of Panama. Panama was there too in pot four. So that it doesn't mean that we're in pot three, it's gonna be easier for us to qualify in the next round. That's
Mhm.
not true. Okay. And right now I'm looking at people starting to guess the pots and
Oh
everything.
yeah.
We're so far away. There's so many things that could happen right now because
Yeah.
of COVID. Because of COVID-19, the qualification process has been delayed so much, and in all confederations, things can change
Well,
drastically.
yeah,
Drastically, and I'm talking about Asia. Sorry, I said I was going to be long, so I
you
advise
are.
you.
I'm like,
In
should I go get
Asia,
another beer? No, I'm kidding. I'm listening.
no, in Asia, and I do follow the Asian Confederation a lot because of Lebanon, of course, which is my where I was born, and Lebanon is one of the teams that could qualify for the World Cup right now, which is very very weird, but still, I look at the teams and there are anything can still happen. Like like even the strongest teams are not qualified yet. So I don't want to, really talk about pots yet because there's going to be so many changes until I think June of
Yeah.
this year. So yeah, it's a bit too early, but it's very exciting to see the Canadian national team reach the 33rd rank in
Yes.
FIFA rankings. That's the best ever
Well,
for Canada. Very
yeah.
exciting.
Well,
I'm
it's
done.
gonna save Canada, for future World Cup qualifications. It's gonna save Canada all those extra matches to reach
Yeah.
the whether it goes back to being a hexagon or whether it stays the octagon. I don't know, but for future World Cups, it makes if Canada should retain its place or even improve upon it, it'll definitely make the steps to reach qualification a lot easier.
Yeah.
Cool. So, anything to add, guys?
No.
No, like I think we're all
So,
pretty much on the same page, right? Like it's
Yeah.
it's great if you can make pot three, but it's not the end of the world if you don't.
no, no, I don't think it's a deal breaker at all. You're at the World Cup. Just imagine what it
Hmm.
means. It's not a pot seeding that's gonna change much for
It's
for you know for your
it,
preparation or
it's a bit
whatever.
prestigious too, right? So you get a
Yeah,
bit of
yeah,
pride
yeah.
out of it too, right?
Mm.
But we fueled so much on being underdogs and stuff. Being pot four, I think it's just good for us. We're just gonna
Yeah,
have another like something else to go to war for, and
yeah.
so
I'm
there's
gonna
not
use
now for me it's not much of a deal. I know there's some people that really value it, but not
yeah.
not on my side.
I'm gonna use Eve's favorite expression: "Beggars can be choosers," right? So, so
Wow,
if
there you go.
if we qualify, that's awesome.
Put us
That's
wherever you
already a
want.
big thing.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, fine. So, Robbie, I hope it answered your question, and I hope it answered anyone's questions. If anyone had questions on the seeding, the pots, and if it was such of a deal that we might be in pot three or pot four. So, that being said, I'll throw it to Eve and social media. We're in part two now.
Alrighty. So first things first, as Hady mentioned, Canada men's national team did climb to 33rd position in the FIFA rankings this week. And we have Couch Ultras who have treated us to a meme involving SpongeBob SquarePants.
Wow.
So, for those of you listening, it's basically a very gentle looking SpongeBob in 2016 with the 117th rank. SpongeBob working out in 2020 with the 72nd rank. Bulked up SpongeBob in 2021 with the 59th rank. And finally, an exploded SpongeBob in 2022 with the 33rd rank. And that about, like, honestly, that's a pretty solid representation. I don't know if
Yeah.
Catch Ultras is the originator of this meme. So, I'll give them tentative credit for this. But that kind of feels like my feelings towards Canada as time has gone on.
But
I agree, and it's a bit like Dragon Ball and
Yeah,
and
that's like
Sangoku. So
but it's a bit like the personality of the team too. You know,
yeah,
2016 we looked like that very gentle, nice SpongeBob, and now we're like that muscular, like intense SpongeBob
don't
of
mess with
2022. I
us.
like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I like it, man. That's a good one. Really good.
Yeah, I do too. And because you guys let me run this show, naturally, if I see Borean
Of
pants,
course.
I'm gonna tweet about Borean pants. So we have good old Risky Wilmer Corona at Goldora2, who actually made their own Borean sweatpants, which, like I
Fantastic.
said, per my conspiracy theory, I'm pretty sure this is what happened, and this is why there are no other Borean sweatpants in existence, because Canada Soccer has to know we want them. So Borean Pants, he tweeted at Borean Pants, who is now a somewhat famous Twitter account devoted to Borean and his sweatpants. What do you think of my new DIY Borean sweatpants? I'm so ready for the World Cup. And Wilmer Corona has, in fact, made their own pants using the number 18 and a Canada Soccer logo. Props.
I love
10 on
it.
10.
Really,
Fantastic.
10 on 10, man.
15 on
Amazing.
10.
Fantastic.
Can you
Oh.
sell them? Can you make a few of them and sell
Yes. Wilmer,
Eve will buy one.
please. More than one.
them?
Alrighty, moving right along. So this I think kind of ties in a little bit with what we discussed with Alex and Michael a few weeks ago. Basically, it's kind of into Universe, who tweeted about a hypothesis, that was kind of put forth by Jeff Morancy of the BBN podcast, involving a trade between Pantemis and Cavallini, seeing each of them change clubs. Canamity Universe says, I like this for both teams. Cavallini can still be a great player in MLS, sorry, and Montreal, who need another offensive piece. Vancouver already have Brian White. With the addition of another designated player, they could be a real threat in the West, and Pantemis also fills a need. What do you guys think?
We talked about that. We
I know.
proposed this, right?
We did.
In our episode. So
We did.
We did talk about that.
I
I don't
still-
agree with the guy. Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm not sure if Vancouver accept that trade. To be honest, I think they still want to try. Not the same player at all.
I think
but
there'd have to be
Cavallini-
money involved. No, I
Yeah.
think probably.
for sure.
And we
I
don't have
I think
cap
they.
space for Cavallini. So.
Although
No,
Montreal
no,
did
I-
pick up some general allocation money this past week. They picked up 200,000.
It was an error.
Oh, really?
Didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Bro, Montreal.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that was random. I was wondering why they did the same exact transaction twice. I was like,
No, I think-
wow, we're just giving out these international spots. Dang.
Yeah, we don't need them anymore, right? But no, for real, to answer your question, Cavallini has been a bit of has been a disappointment. Let's say it like it is in Vancouver since he's been there. Yes, Brian White has taken the place and has been really good, but I think Vancouver still really wants Cavallini to succeed, and they'll give him the opportunity to do so. He's a Canadian international. It's a World Cup year. No, and they really value Thomas Assal as their goalie. So no, it won't happen. Hady, you have a mea
Yeah, no,
culpa to make?
it's not an error. It's just that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not an error. It's just that when I shared I shared the news, I shared the communication from the club that's usually is sent to media, and there was an error in the communication. So I thought that the whole deal was an
Okay.
error, but they didn't explain that it's just the communication that was an error. So yes, we did get 200,000
Okay.
for
Because I was there,
Yeah.
I was like, it's still
my
there.
mistake. My mistake.
Okay.
You know,
Okay,
you have to get used to that, Eve. I make one mistake per show.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. I make about 57. So you got a while to catch up to me. That's all good. And hey, you made me double check too, because I just took it as fact.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah, but no, like you said, I mean, Montreal has picked up $400,000 plus 2 random super draft picks in the third round for international spots. So there is a little bit of like wiggle room salary wise, maybe. Or maybe
Yeah,
they could
and
put it to use. Mhm.
Max Rokatansky says that it seems one-sided, the
Yeah, I
Mm,
trade
agree. I
between
agree.
Pantemis and
yeah.
Gavellini. I
Yeah.
agree with him too.
That's why I
Now,
figure, yeah, there'd have to be money involved.
yeah, for
Like,
sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Alrighty then. Onwards to legacy football fan. He says, it appears Canada soccer flags have made it to the flag selling parking lot guys inventory and also to the front display or to their front display, like the special parking lot flags, ahead of CFL, NHL, NFL teams. An actual sign Canada's becoming a soccer country. What do you guys think about
There's
this
a buzz around the Canadian national team. I think Joey Saputo can be happy about that.
buzz? Hallelujah. It's happened. Yes. Oh my gosh. Like, it's super random to see it, with a bunch of other incredibly random flags in some parking lot, which I guess some random person is selling and, not at a stadium. So yeah,
You know,
looks like we've made it.
You know
Yeah.
what? I think we always been a soccer country. I think now what changed is that people are just less shy to say that they like
Mm.
soccer.
Yeah.
It's
I
it's
agree.
been a while that we've been waiting for the national team to finally step up and really take its place, and it's finally done. So you see all these people out now talking about it, but you just don't become a soccer fan overnight. So
Mm.
these people have been watching soccer secretly, I think, and now they're not shy anymore to say it. That's the
Mhm.
difference.
It's a good point. That's a good point. Like, I've actually talked to my friends, my in real life friends about soccer. Whereas before, especially my friends not in Montreal, back in New Brunswick, which is not a very soccering place. Um, I would just keep my mouth shut because I didn't think they could care. And there was nothing I couldn't convince them looking at Canada. I was like, look at us,
Nah.
we're down in the hundreds. So yeah, but now like I'm not afraid or ashamed, I guess, to talk about it. My love of this particular sport. So no.
Hey, I are you done? Hey, you have another one?
Yeah, there's
I
one
do
left.
have one
Yeah,
more.
go ahead, and then we'll. There's a question from Chan that we're gonna.
Okay.
share. Go
Okay,
ahead.
cool.
Last one is Amy Walsh, who mentioned the $200,000 in general allocation money and the third round pick for the 20. Okay, I'll read the tweet. So Amy Walsh said CF Montreal gets $200,000 in GAM and a third round pick for the 2024 Super Draft from LAFC in exchange for a 2022 international spot. Stockpiling money. Will we see it put to good use? And that's my question. I pose her question to you. Stockpiling that money.
If you read, Nilton from CanFC usually does a projection of the salaries and everything. It's based on what he feels, right? He doesn't have the right, like, all the information, but
No.
he gathers information left and right and does something. He does a really good job on that.
Yeah.
And on his predictions, we needed money in order to cover the salaries of players that already are part of the squad. I don't know if that's true and if that money is just used to pay salaries. I hope not, because as I said earlier in the show, we need game changers. We need one or two quality players still in our squad to at least get that playoff spot. Where on the pitch, it could be multiple position. It could be a midfielder. It could be a striker. It could be a left back, a left wing back. Those three positions are positions where we could get quality, and for that we need to spend money. I don't know if we're gonna do that, but again, hearing the comments of Wilfried Nancy in the press, as I said earlier, I think he does expect something to move and to happen. So hopefully it will.
Sounds like he expected something to happen and did not happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hustle.
We'll see. We'll see. I
All
think,
right.
yeah. If it isn't for salary, definitely, I think
Mm,
we should see something happening. Maybe not now. I think maybe more in the summer. But
hmm
definitely, I'm sure that there's gonna be players that are gonna be added to the squad. Maybe not now, but
Well,
during the
yeah.
season, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Because I definitely piggyback for sure on your guys' feeling that the squad as it is not a playoff squad. Um, I'm coming out with my mean takes. So anyway, with that being said, that does wrap up social media for this week. But
Yeah.
how do you believe you said that a question had
Yeah.
come in?
Yeah. And it's a question from Chan. And he asks us road trip to Toronto in March for Canada Canadian national team against Jamaica. I'm going. So
Oh,
I
really?
will sell my kidney for a ticket.
yeah,
And I'm not
I'm
gonna lie, I don't
going.
have great kidneys. I will like I'm gonna take the day off work and I'm gonna use all the devices I have like to find a freaking ticket.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Same
will
here.
spend
Same here.
mucho dinero, and of course, it's actually 2 tickets because my mom has to come.
Oh,
Nice. Nice.
I'm not decided yet. I have to check with work and stuff, but yeah, it could be cool. Could be cool.
Oh, I'm gonna tell work. I'm gonna be like, I'm so sorry, I've died.
We'll see about that, but yeah, no, I am, I didn't buy tickets or anything. I didn't do anything yet, but yeah, I should be going if I don't die, so I should be able to go. I really want to, and it's time for me to go watch a game of the
Yeah.
Canadian national team.
Yeah. No,
It's been a while. It's been a
it
while.
was so fantastic when I was there in October for the match
Oh,
versus
man.
Panama. And like I went with 2 friends, and they're not really into soccer, really into Canada. Like I had to point out who Alfonso Davies was on the I had to point out like who he was and like what team he played for and why this
Oh,
was
okay.
important as he took a goal corner in front of us. I was like, oh god, girls. Um but they got so into it during that
Yeah.
game. So to go with my mom would be my absolute number one dream.
Nice, nice.
Nice.
And no Chan ball is round is not gonna become ball in Toronto.
Never.
So I'm not gonna
Never, man.
even put the comment on
No.
on the
Don't.
Firm no.
sorry. So yeah, I think I can move on with choices as the last
Oh,
segment, right?
yes.
Sam?
Go to town.
Yes.
Go. So
Choices,
let's
Hady.
do
Go ahead.
so
Get it
let's do
on.
that. First of all, let's rehear the bell ring. So yeah, guys. So I have 3 choices for you. I just hope we didn't answer them during our pod. I don't think we got like definite answers, but like we talked a bit about some of them. So
Okay.
let's start with the first one. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the the women's national team. I don't think we talked about that. We touched the subject a bit. Guys, would you rather test new players in those 3 games and lose all 3 games at the Arnold Clark Cup? Or would you rather win 2 and play the usual players, not giving any minutes to the new players that we talked about a bit earlier?
Not even off the bench.
Not even off the bench.
Okay, so I think it's humanly impossible.
No, I talked about the new
Mm.
players. Like you
Mhm.
have other players that are on the bench and
Yeah.
are going to play, right? So
Yeah. Honestly, I have my answer.
Okay, go
yeah,
ahead.
go
I'm
ahead.
still thinking.
Okay. So I would actually go for the second option. I know, Hattie, please don't kill me. I would actually go for the second option because for the brand new players, this is still a valuable experience for them to get used to being in the squad, period. And, playing whatever, like adapting to the formation that Priestman wants to use going forward in the future. So for them, I can see this experience being mostly a learning experience and not necessarily a competing and playing experience. So using that side of things, I would say option B, if you will. They don't play, but they're training, they're learning, and they're building chemistry with their teammates.
Sam?
Yeah, I'm going for it with the same answer. And you asked a lot of senior players, of experienced players to come over, and you won't ask a player like Vanessa Gilles to fly half the surface of the earth to go and maybe lose 3 games. You're going there to win, and I think that's the mentality you have to bring, and it's a winning mentality. And the younger players, like you've said, will get accustomed to the system, to the mentality of the team, and will also understand that the team means business. So when you're all curled up, you take the place that is given to you. You wait for your turn. When your turn will come, you have to make it worth. And I think it's a kind of a sign of respect too for your more senior players that are traveling a lot and moving to these games. I remember Michael Azira in an interview. I think it was with Paul Vance. He told Paul that at some point he had stopped. He had told the Uganda coach to stop calling him up if he wasn't to play. If he was gonna to be on the bench, if he's not on the 11, don't call me, because he's traveling for so, like, I think
Yeah.
13 hours flights to go there and sit on the bench. So I think it's a bit of the same. You going there, put your senior players, your experienced players, try to win, and the youngsters will get their chance eventually, but they have to be in the mold first and learn, the hierarchy of the team and the system and everything.
You know what, guys? I choose the same answer as you. Yeah, I say play the youth. I completely understand, but in this case, you have a few things. You talked about, them experiencing the new, the call up altogether, and I'm not going to repeat that. I'm going
Mhm.
to see another aspect of it. uh, Canada has won the Olympic Games, okay? But as of right now, if you go into discussions and topics about women's soccer, everybody says, yeah, but Olympics, it's not really the best teams in the world that compete in Olympics because of the qualification process in Europe and everywhere. So they're kind of don't see yet Canada as being a force, even if they won the Olympics. For them, Canada needs to be good at the World Cups and play against the best teams across the world. Right now, during that tournament, we're playing against three of the top 10 teams in the world, with England, Germany, and Spain. England being eighth, Spain being ninth, and Germany being third. So having three losses and being the Olympic Games champion for me is going to damage morale so much.
Mhm.
And it's going to show that the Olympic Games, it's going to downplay the amazing journey that they did in the Olympic Games in Tokyo. So it's important not to lose those 3 games. It's important to get maybe draws or maybe one win. It would be nice maybe at least get competitive against those teams. So yes, I would play the usual players. And when I say the usual players, I'm not saying you're the same 11 for all 3 games. Far from it. But you have so many. You have a good squad there in order to compete in all 3 games. So I do choose the option B also for that choice.
Mhm.
Um, Going to the second question, and that's something that we did talk about, but I need a definite answer this time.
Okay.
You are Wilfred Nancy, and you
Are you
have to
drinking
make
tea?
you are drinking tea,
Let's go.
and you have to make a choice ahead of the Santos Laguna game. You watch tapes and you realize that the Mexican team has some trouble against teams that play 4-4-2. Do you opt for that formation knowing you only have 2 or 3 training sessions to go before the game and you never practiced it before? Or would you go with what you've already worked on since the beginning of the preseason, whatever it is, the 3-5-2, the 3-4-3, or the 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, whatever it is? So would you
Okay,
go with that formation,
Mhm.
specific formation for Santos Laguna that you haven't worked on, or no?
I
Sam?
can answer that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, now you said 4-4-2, so you kind of lit something inside of me, because that's my favorite formation forever. And
Ferguson's formation. That's why.
Yeah, and when we used to play younger, that was like the basic formation. That's the first you learn when
You
you
learn, yeah.
start playing 11v11, and that's well. Anyways, I loved it, and given the fact that there's a lot of uncertainty in the center back area going into the Santos Laguna game, and knowing that the Mexican team would have a trouble playing against a 4-4-2, definitely I'll go 4-4-2. Yeah, and we talked about it. Lassie becomes a factor now
Mm.
because if you drop your 4-4-2 deep, very compact, and you try to get them on the break, I think you can use the speed of some of your players because we do have pace. And yeah, like Chan say, kick and run. Well, if it works, you use it, man. So yeah,
We need a
4-4-2
duro for
English
kick and
kick and
run to work. We need a
Yeah.
duro.
But listen, you have everything that could work. You have a hold up guy in Kyoto up front that can
Yeah.
hold the ball up.
Yeah.
You have space on the wing with
Well,
Lassie.
yeah, I was gonna say
Um,
Lassie can probably kick and run a bit.
oh yeah, definitely. And Mihailovic would have to play somewhere in that formation. That's a bit difficult because he's really
Mhm.
locked in as a good old 10. But I think
Mhm.
if you play kind of a 4-4-2, but Mihailovic behind
In a
Kyoto.
Like
diamond,
more of a
yeah,
diamond, yeah.
a diamond
Ah,
formation.
you got something there. So yes, my answer is most definitely yes.
Eve,
Oh, see, I had my answer and then I heard Sam, and now because like Sam is kind of my master tactician guy, so
Oh,
sometimes when I hear Sam first, I change my mind.
you're
okay,
But I'll
allowed.
well,
I know, but I'll stick with the answer I was gonna give. I don't think it's wise to try out a brand new formation that your team has purportedly never worked
yeah,
on before ever. Well, at
yeah,
least
yeah, yeah.
this
I know, I
preseason.
know.
So I don't think that's wise. So no. Despite this side note, if you watch the video, freaking train in a 4-4-2. But no, I would stick with what's prepared because there's going to be players who are unfamiliar together. So stick with what is kind of familiar to the players who are out there.
Yeah, there's not a lot of unfamiliar players, as we said a bit
No,
earlier.
but in the back line,
Yeah,
for
true.
sure.
I'm Team Eve on this
Okay.
choice. For me, if it was mid-season, I would have gone with a 4-4-2, and I completely agree with you, Sam. But it's the first game of the season, man.
Yeah.
Like you need to build on the foundation that you've been working on for the past 3-4 weeks. You need to build on that. So whatever the other team, and Wilfred Nancy always says something. I'm not going to adapt to the other team. They're going to have to adapt to me. And you know what? He proved it last year. He
Yeah,
did prove it last year.
yeah.
We played the same style every game. And yes, we didn't qualify for the season for
Was
the
a little bit
playoffs, but
predictable.
yeah, we didn't qualify, but we were in, like, except one or two games during the whole season,
Mm-hmm.
we
But
were competitive.
I mean, it
during
was
But
all the
predictable.
games.
But by the end of the season, it was pretty darn predictable for other teams to line up
But
against
there you
Montreal.
go. So I must say something. I love Wilfred Nancy's mentality, and he's right to say I'm a be the boss. People will adapt to me. But when you got coaches that adapt well to you, we saw what happened. We got not he wasn't out coached. That's not what I'm saying. But the opposition tactics were good enough to
Yeah,
stop us on our strengths.
I
So
think we were just we were very unlucky at the end. Too many
you.
injuries to key players,
Yo,
and just
Nashville completely neutralized Montreal.
oh yes,
Like,
Nashville neutralized
shockingly.
99% of the teams in MLS. Like, you can't give
yeah,
Nashville was
I
yeah,
know,
was
but
one of the
Montreal was
best
at
teams in the
home in
season.
that game, yo.
Yeah, but still, and
Yeah,
we didn't lose against Nashville.
yeah. We did.
lost at home.
Yeah,
Once,
1-0.
and
0-1.
we got two draws.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah,
Like, we lost 2-1 at home, or 1-0. I don't remember.
1-0,
1-0. I think.
yeah.
1-0.
Yeah, it was
Walker
So, like,
Zimmerman
Zimmerman
had
said it.
her.
it's
I
not
remember.
we
Yeah.
weren't dominated by Nashville either.
No, but I'm saying that by the time, because really Montreal played Nashville the second game of the season, and then they played them, I
Yeah.
think maybe like a third of the way through the season ish, and then it was towards the end of, well, obviously because they were back in Montreal, so it was closer to the end of the season. I think it was in early September, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty
Um,
sure.
yeah. So by the third time, Gary Smith was like, well, Wilfred Nancy. We've seen each other, and I think I know what song you're going to sing.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't really agree with you, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I would still use that at first, at least. I would still use the formation that we worked on. Guys, and that's the last choice. And I'm just, I saw a video of a certain player training. I was impressed because this player is trying to regain his form. And, that choice came to my mind when I was preparing for the show. You're Olivier Renard. You get a phone call from Mino Raiola, Zlatan Ibrahimovic agent, that tells you he's interested in signing with CF Montreal. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, still being very good in Serie A, even if he gets injured sometimes, or a bit too much. But he wants to sign with CF Montreal, but he wants a DP spot, and he wants a contract for 3 years. And he's already 40. Would you do it? Or would you not do it?
No.
Eve seems to be certain of her choice.
No.
Why?
Doesn't fit the Olivier Renard mold. Nope. No.
You are Olivier Renard.
Okay,
you
then fine.
Don't try to be Olivier Renard. You are Olivier Renard.
Okay, I'm gonna be that asshole. Zlatan Ibrahimovic has accomplished a lot in football, and I do not want to take that away from him. But he will be bigger than the team, and I don't think one player should be bigger than the team. So my personal perspective is no, thank you. As well, he is 40 years old. A 3-year contract is a long time. Obviously, what we're seeing from Zlatan Ibrahimovic in Serie A is that he can still kick a ball pretty darn well at age 40. But nonetheless, no, it's too much of a gamble, the length of the contract plus the amount of money it would cost. And at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not a fan of when a player is bigger than the club.
I like your answer. I just want to give a few stats before you answer, Sam.
No, go to him.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic this year, 15 games, 8 goals, 2 assists in Serie A. Yes, he's 40 years old, but he's just scoring, man. He's scoring, and just go see his video. He's so fit.
Okay, no, I know. It's
not normal how fit he is. And so many people on social media complain that we don't have that star. And we all remember when Didier Drogba signed here, I think he wasn't as good physically as what Zlatan Ibrahimovic is right now. Okay. So you're getting a better version of Didier Drogba with Zlatan. Go ahead, Sam.
Oh man, it's the 3 year that's
if I had said 1 year, it would be an easy choice, right?
That's the thing. He's such a great physical,
he's a beast.
It's incredible. So, you know what? I'm all for eventually a change of formation. So I think that Romel Kyoto can go back to the wing eventually, because we'll have to go at a back four at some point, and Mason Toy up front when he's gonna be fit with Zlatan, and everything points to that Victor Wanyama is gonna leave the club at the end of his contract, so we'll have a lot of DP spots available. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I think I'll say yes. And you know what? If we can have 2 good years of Zlatan and 1 horrible one, but it's the gamble to take. Yes, he's gonna be bigger than the club, of course, but maybe it's the price to pay. I don't know. I'll say yes. I can't believe I'm saying yes, but yeah, I'll say yes.
man, you know what? I have the same dilemma as you, Sam.
Yeah.
And don't forget that Zlatan is a former PSG player, and I'll still say yes. I'll still say yes. because he's a beast physically. So I'm not worried about him being 40 years old. And
No.
he's never been big on pace either way. So you know, being pacey is not something that is in his game. So it doesn't really matter how old he is, as long as he's able to score and to get the right looks and to still work. And again, he works like a dog. This guy,
Yeah, yeah.
like a dog, you know. So
And he
yeah, I'm
imposes respect, and there's a
yeah,
notion of
and
respect when he's there, you know.
and the
So
visibility, and
yeah.
people are not going to be able to say, yeah, but it's the MLS, that's why he's scoring goals. Man, he came to MLS, he was a great goal scorer. He went to fucking England, he was a great goal scoring. He went to Italy, he was a good goal scorer.
Oh
So
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
don't talk to me about age and MLS, you know. There are some players that are one of a kind. He's one of them. And you want some buzz? Sign Zlatan Ibrahimovic. You're
Mhm.
gonna have buzz. You're gonna have buzz. So yeah, I'm going for yes too. Even if yes, I understand 3 years is too long, and it's gonna be Zlatan's club and not the team's club. And either way, it's never gonna happen because it's not Olivier Renard's
No, it's choices, so that's good.
strategy,
Mhm.
right? So, but we're just having fun, right? That's
Mhm.
the whole point of my choices. If you had anything to add.
No.
No. Okay, I'm done with choices. Those are the three choices that I had for you.
Cool. It is good again, Hady. Thanks for choices.
Mhm.
So, guys, once again, I want to thank everyone who listened and interacted with us live. It was great as usual. Thank you, Eve and Hady, for being super interesting as always. And I'll give a special thanks to CanFC from the platform. It's a big game coming up for our team. So, all the best to the boys. And let's hope we can finally turn the page of Santos Laguna Nightmare 13 years ago. Until then, my friends, have a great week, and we see you all on Sunday the 20th for another episode of The Ball is Wrong.